Thymesia is set to fill in the gap for all of us who are dying for another Souls-like game, and this Souls-like action RPG is set to fulfill that void. Well, the question being, will it? Welcome to another No BS review, where we go ahead and give you the score before we give you the full review. Thymesia gets a 75 out of 100. If you want to find out how we got to that score and why, stay tuned for the rest of the video, where we're going to let you guys know if it's worth you spending $29.99 to pick up Thymesia. With that being said, let's review Thymesia. One of the first things you're going to notice when actually watching gameplay of Thymesia or playing Thymesia is the fact that it takes a lot of great elements and a lot of inspiration from one of the most beloved games from any Souls-like series, and that is Bloodborne. It also infuses a lot of elements similar to Dark Souls and also Sekiro. So if you guys enjoy those games, this is definitely a game you guys might want to consider. What makes this game very interesting is the fact that it takes a lot of those elements and it puts its own twist to those elements and gives you a different way of actually playing. In Thymesia, you're going to be looking forward to tackling on different enemies. You can also look forward to a unique combat system that's going to give you the ability to choose your method of combat, allowing you to have a more personalized experience. Whether you're new to the Souls-like genre or you're a returning player for any of these beloved Souls-like games, you're definitely going to find a challenge when playing Thymesia. In Thymesia, you're going to be playing as Corvus, a very mysterious character, but one of the biggest advantages he has is that he's able to wield plague weapons. Now, we'll jump in and talk a little bit more about plague weapons later, but this is going to be very key because he is the only one that's able to use these plague weapons, because these plague weapons have been a disaster for this particular kingdom. Corvus will need to track down the memories that are scattered throughout all the different levels within the game and piece these memories together to unlock the secrets of how the kingdom actually fell and went into ruin. Even though he could use these plague weapons to fight monsters, Corvus is going to find out that the kingdom actually fell into ruins because of these particular weapons. And if he's not careful, he's going to find himself being a casualty instead of being their savior. So it's going to be very important that he learns to master these plague weapons and does not let the disease consume him. The way the story unfolds in Thymesia is very similar to Bloodborne, and we kind of see that this is where they kind of got most of their inspiration from. They want the story to be revealed from Corvus's memories, and these memories, like I said, are scattered in the world, and when you find these memories, you're going to be able to piece these memories together and come to your own conclusion on how this story actually unfolded. Because through these memories, you're going to learn the fate of the realm and also learn what Corvus's role was within the whole story. Now, I wish they would have included a little bit more dialogue between different characters, as this would have been more fluid when it came to storytelling. I wish that they would have leaned a little bit more to a little bit more dialogue and maybe a little bit more subtitles, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people will tend to skip the memories and not be able to comprehend exactly what's going on in the game. Now, what makes these games stand out, of course, is its gameplay and how well the fighting and combat system actually works. In Thymesia, the combat system actually worked very fluid. You're able to have multiple of different types of abilities that will allow you to play the game different than anybody else playing it. You have the ability to dodge, or you could parry as well. And these two are your main defensive abilities. As far as offensive gameplay, you have the ability to hack and slash, you have the ability to use plague weapons, you have the ability to actually throw knives to stun the enemy, and you have the ability of the Ravenclaw. Now, the Ravenclaw plays a huge part in the game, because if you want to master Corvus's full arsenal, then you're going to need to learn to master the Claw. Now, the game puts a little bit of twist on the way you are accustomed to fighting, because this game allows you to wound enemies, and when you wound enemies, the game actually considers this as a virus. Remember, everybody has a disease in this game, and you're fighting off the disease, and this disease allows them to have these awesome plague weapons, and you want to make sure you harness those plague weapons. Well, when you're fighting in this game, you're going to notice that there's going to be two main things that appear on top of the person's head. Not only will the health bar appear, which is indicated by a white bar, but you'll also know that as you hit the person, their health bar starts turning green. And every time you hit them, the white disappears, but the green stays. Now, the green is pretty much the virus that remains in that person's body. Now, if you do not use your claw appropriately and you do not hit the enemy with your claw feature, that disease will stay in the enemy, but that enemy will be able to regain their health if you do not remove the disease, which is that green bar. So basically, the way the game mechanic works in the game, you kind of want to hack and slash with your sword. Once that green bar starts filling up, you want to make sure you use your claw so you can take away the disease and reduce the health bar. So the game requires you to not only use the mechanic of hacking and slashing, but it also makes you use the mechanic of being able to use your claw to remove the disease and get the disease. Now your claw doesn't only play that integral part of the game, because what it also does, it allows you to get plague weapons. So let's say an enemy is wielding a very heavy sword and you want to be able to use this sword on the enemy, but you don't know how to actually achieve that. Well, in order for you guys to be able to get that plague weapon from the enemy, you're going to have to charge up your claw, and when your claw is charged up, you'll be able to subtract that plague weapon from the enemy. Now, this does come at a cost, because when you charge up your claw, you are vulnerable to getting hit. But the reward is that you'll be able to get that plague weapon and be able to use it on the enemy. Now, unfortunately, you can't use it on the enemy more than once. You're only able to harness the power of removing that plague weapon from the enemy once, so you got to use it wisely. In addition to that, guys, if you want to make sure you get access to these particular plague weapons, you're going to have to kill more enemies, because the more enemies you kill, the more likelihood you have of them dropping a plague weapon shard. Now, you'll be able to use these plague weapon shards to unlock different types of plague weapons, so you could use them in your arsenal and you could use them frequently. Now, the game is very extensive when it comes to different build varieties, because it allows you to not only build towards a skill tree, but it also allows you to build up towards attributes. Now, these attributes are able to be unlocked by collecting memory shards, and you get memory shards, of course, by defeating enemies. And the amount of memory shards you have is how much you're able to invest into these three categories, whether it be strength, fatality, or plague. Each give you a benefit. For example, strength gives you the benefit of upgrading your attack damage and the amount of wound you actually apply on the enemy. Fatality gives you the ability of how much health you have, and Plague gives you the ability of how much claw damage you have and how much energy you're able to pull away from the enemy. So it's going to be very important to see where you spend these particular points, and depending on how you want to spend these points is going to determine what type of playstyle you have. Now, and that being said, it also allows you to play with talents, which is pretty much your skill tree. Now, the skill tree allows you to enhance different things within your arsenal, whether it be your weapon known as the saber, whether it give you the ability to enhance your deflect, whether it give you the ability to get more benefit out of your dodge, more benefit out of the claw, which is one of the main ingredients in the game, whether you get more benefit from the feather, which is like a throwing knife that you're able to throw to stun enemies and get more benefits out of them, or whether it be for strategies to enhance your playstyle. All of this is going to be determined on how many talents you have, and of course, the more talents, the more powerful you're going to be. But you're going to want to make sure you plan accordingly depending on what level you are and what area you're in. Now, remember we said earlier we were going to be talking about plague weapons. Now, plague weapons are very important because each plague weapon will be unlocked depending on how many bosses you kill, how many secret enemies you have, and how many plague weapons you're able to get from within an enemy. As you guys see, there is a very extensive list. There's a total of 20 plague weapons, and each of them will give you certain benefits. Some will actually allow you to do a lot of damage. Some allow you to do damage and be able to get armor back. Some will allow you guys to be able to get your health back. And some of them allow you to knock down enemies and even stun them. So depending on what plague weapon you want to choose, you'll be able to do so. Now, within your talents, you're able to actually have 2 of these particular weapons. So depending on which one you want and what type of playstyle you want, you're going to be able to pick the ones accordingly. As you guys see here, we have really awesome ones. We have the hand axe. We also have this one, which is a shield that actually pushes the enemy back. We have a bow if you want to play a little bit further distance. We even have a satchel, and we have some dual wielding weapons, and we have this nice whip. So there's an extensive amount of stuff that you're able to do. And of course, the higher level you are, the more benefit you're able to get from this weapon. Of course, we'll have a more in-depth video going over plague weapons. Now, one of the neat things I did love about this game that I wish other games included is the ability of being able to decide what type of health system you want. You have your general potion, you have your long-lasting potion, and your fast-acting potion. Of course, I'll have a video where it goes a little bit more in-depth on which one I recommend you should level up first. So you're definitely going to want to check out that video, but each of them has its own different benefits. This one, of course, you can get the ability of being able to heal fast. You're going to be able to get a long-lasting potion, so it's going to be get health gen as quickly as you possibly can. And this is going to be a fast-acting potion, get a big chunk of health back with also a benefit and a disadvantage. And I like the fact that it gives you the ability of being able to decide which one you want. Now, one neat thing that the game allows you to do is this thing called Cease Recall, which allows you to pretty much start the game fresh. And another really cool ability is that it gets you to use these things called Forgotten Feathers. Now, you'll be able to collect these Forgotten Feathers within the game. And basically what this allows you to do, it allows you to reset your stats so you can go to the level up and reset each attribute to accordingly to your preferred playstyle in case you messed up and, leveled up the wrong ones you wanted to level up. Now, one thing I did want to let you guys know is this game is very short if you decide to just play it all the way to the end. Now, there is a little bit of replayability in case you want to go and make sure you collect the plague weapons you had missed. If you want to go collect memories you missed or show shards or different sets of items that you have missed in the world. You're able to replay and play it back. You're also able to restart the game once again in case you didn't like the ending you had before. Now, once again, guys, Tamisha got a 75 out of 100. The reason being, guys, I felt like the game was just a little bit too short for my liking. I do like the fact that you have the replayability, but I would have liked the game to be just a little bit longer. Maybe 2 more additional chapters would have definitely made this a solid 8, even at 85. Now, things I did notice, I didn't get no crashes. I didn't get any bugs. The only thing I did experience was a little bit screen tearing. Even though I'm in a pre-release version of the game, I do believe that that might have been the issue, and hopefully when the game launched, you guys won't have that problem. Now, overall, the atmosphere of the game does give me these nice gothic vibes. It makes the world feel very surreal, and each different level is totally different from the other ones. You have a lot of verticality, a lot of horizontality, which makes the game very dynamic and very versatile. Now, with all of its unique elements and all of its unique playstyle, the game is definitely worth you picking up and trying it out. You guys won't be disappointed as far as the game mechanics and, of course, its combat system. The only thing is, if you're looking for a long longevity game, this might not be the one for you. You might want to wait in case they do decide to expand the world and give us just a tad bit more levels. Once again, Tamisha got a 75 out of 100. I hope you guys are enjoying our review here in the channel. If you are, do me the huge favor, guys, drop a comment, drop a like. And of course, we have a ton of Tamisha videos to definitely get you started, like what you should know. We're definitely popping up right now on the screen. We also have a videos giving you guys what are the best things to level up and why, and how to approach combat in the game. So I hope you guys are enjoying our coverage. If you are, do me a huge favor, guys, drop a comment, drop a like. If you want to show a little bit more love and support, make sure you hit that join button or drop a thank you. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.